Hello, little explorer. I am Fairy Tale, your guide to a land where trees whisper secrets and streams sing lullabies. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and listen. Today, I will tell you a story about a little boy and a cloud that taught him something very important. Szymon and the Sad Little Cloud. In the heart of the Valley of Whispering Streams, where the grass was soft as rabbit fur and the flowers smelled like the sweetest candies, lived a little boy named Szymon. Szymon had eyes as bright as two chestnuts after the rain, and a smile that could chase away even the most stubborn clouds. His greatest treasure was the Star Kite. It was no ordinary kite. He had received it from his grandfather, and its tail was made of silk ribbons to which tiny silver bells were attached. When the kite soared through the sky, the bells played the melody of the wind, and the kite itself shimmered in the sun like a captured piece of the night sky. One sunny afternoon, Szymon ran to his favorite clearing to fly the Star Kite. The wind was a cheerful prankster that day. It tickled his cheeks and ruffled his hair. The boy unwound the string and with a joyful shout released the kite into the wind's embrace. The Star Kite soared high, higher than the tallest trees, and began its dance in the blue sky. The bells rang merrily, ding, 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 and Szymon laughed out loud, feeling his heart dance with the kite. Suddenly, the wind prankster decided to play a trick. It blew harder than it should have, so hard that the string slipped from Cymon's small hands. The boy watched in horror as his beloved kite, his piece of the sky, drifted higher and higher, carried away by the wind. It flew toward the distant, gloomy forest until it finally became just a tiny, flickering speck and disappeared. "The kite! My kite!" Szymon cried, but only silence answered him. A strange, heavy feeling appeared in his tummy. It was as if someone had put a cold stone inside him. A large lump grew in his throat, and his eyes began to sting. And then something extraordinary happened right above his head. A small gray cloud appeared. It wasn't an ordinary cloud from the sky. It was dense, fluffy, and very, very sad. It began to float just above the top of his head, and tiny, salty drops of rain started dripping from its center. Drip, drop, drip, right onto his nose and cheeks. This was the sad little cloud. Szymon sat on the grass and hugged his knees. He didn't want to play. He didn't want to run. He just wanted his kite back. And the sad little cloud floated above him and quietly cried with him. After a while, Mrs. Squirrel ran down the path, carrying a basket full of nuts in her paws. "Szymon, what happened? Why do you have such a rainy cloud over your head?" she asked, twitching her nose nervously. "I lost my Star Kite," the boy whispered, and even more tears fell from the cloud. "Oh, don't worry," exclaimed Mrs. Squirrel. "I have a delicious nut here. Look how crunchy it is. Eat it and you'll forget all about the kite right away." Szymon took the nut, but he didn't feel like eating it at all. The heavy stone in his tummy didn't disappear, and the sad little cloud still hung over his head. He thanked her politely and walked on, deeper into the valley. He walked and walked, and the small gray cloud followed him like a faithful, though very sad dog. Its drizzle soaked his hair. Finally, he reached the old oak tree, in whose hollow lived Owl Wisehead. The owl was polishing her spectacles with a piece of soft moss. "Hoo-hoo, Szymon," she hooted gently, looking through her shiny lenses. "I see the sad little cloud has visited you today." Szymon nodded his head because the lump in his throat wouldn't let him speak. "That's nothing bad," the owl said calmly. "Such clouds appear when we lose something we love very much. They bring rain, and rain is nothing more than the tears of our heart that needs to cry it out." The owl paused for a moment, allowing her words to wrap around Szymon like a warm shawl. "That cloud won't leave until you let it. You can't chase it away with a nut or a cheerful song. First, you have to let it cry all its rain. Do you know what helps?" Szymon shook his head. "You have to give it a reason to see that even after losing something beautiful, there are still many other beautiful things in the world. Come with me for a little walk. Let's look for 3 treasures that will remind us of your kite." Szymon hesitantly got up and followed the wise owl. The sad little cloud followed them, still sprinkling a gentle drizzle. "First, let's find something that has the color of the sky, where your kite flew," suggested the owl. They looked carefully around. Szymon noticed a small blue feather under a rose bush that a jay had lost. It was smooth and had a beautiful azure color. Szymon picked it up and gently stroked it. The sad little cloud seemed to stop crying for a moment. "Excellent!" praised the owl. "Now let's look for something that shines as beautifully as the silver bells on its tail." They walked to the stream, which babbled cheerfully, telling its watery stories. Something glittered at the bottom in the clear water. Szymon put his hand into the cool water and pulled out a smooth, white pebble with shimmering quartz particles. It twinkled in the sun like a little star. Szymon smiled slightly, and the sad little cloud lifted a little higher and became somewhat brighter. "Wonderful!" hooted the owl. "And now, the last treasure. Let's find something that makes a sound as pleasant as the melody of your kite." Szymon cocked his ears. He heard the birds singing and the stream murmuring, but that wasn't it. Suddenly, a light breeze moved the leaves on an old maple tree. One dry, golden leaf whirled and fell right at his feet. When the wind moved it, it rustled quietly and soothingly. Shh, shh. It sounded like the gentlest lullaby. Szymon held the blue feather in one hand, the shiny pebble in the other, and the rustling leaf lay at his feet. He looked up. The sad little cloud had almost disappeared. It was now tiny as a wisp of steam and completely transparent. The last drop of rain fell onto his palm and dissolved. And then a warm ray of sunshine broke through the tree branches and patted his cheek. The heavy stone in his tummy vanished. Szymon took a deep breath. He still felt a little sorry about the Star Kite, but his heart didn't hurt anymore. He felt peace and warmth. "You see," said the owl gently, "your sad little cloud has cried all its tears. It saw that the world is still full of beautiful things. Sadness is like rain. It is needed so that the sun can come out afterward, and so that new, beautiful flowers can grow in your heart. It's okay to feel sad, Szymon. It means you loved something very much. And now the sun has returned." Szymon smiled widely, genuinely this time. He thanked Owl Wisehead and returned to the clearing with the new treasures in his pocket. He knew he would always miss the Star Kite, but he also knew that after every rain, even the one from the saddest cloud, the sun always, always comes out. Do you remember Szymon and his sad little cloud? Sometimes when you lose a favorite toy or say goodbye to someone you love, a small gray cloud might appear in your heart too. That's totally okay. Such a cloud brings drizzle, which is your tears, and that is very necessary so that your heart can cleanse itself. Remember what Szymon did. He didn't try to chase the cloud away. He let it be. And then he looked around for beautiful things, a feather, a pebble, and a leaf. You can do that too. When you're sad, hug your mom or dad, have a cry, and then look around and find something that'll bring a little ray of sunshine back to your face. Because every cloud, even the saddest one, eventually flies away, and after the rain, the sun always comes out, and your heart becomes warm and joyful again.